Welcome to episode 2 of our series of red flags, gut feelings, and following your intuition. This is episode 2. This is all about when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. If you take anything away from this message at all, I want it to be this one thing. People will show you exactly who they are in the actions that they take, not in the words that they speak. In a world of talk, pay attention to who's doing what, because that is ultimately going to be the actual answer that you're looking for. Now, of course, we are humans. So as humans do, we look for the potential in other people. We give people the benefit of the doubt. We want to see the good in people, right? But when we do a little bit too much of that, we actually are basically in our own way. And we're going to go into a couple reasons for that. So in this episode, we're going to talk about why it's so important for you to believe people when they show you who they are the first time, and how that can save you from heartbreak, from self-doubt, from wasted energy, from wasted years, all of these different things. So to begin, of course, we have our little notey notebook. We're going to talk about how people basically reveal themselves, like as soon as you basically get to know them, or as soon as you're getting to know them, okay? While subtle, the signs are there, and all they really do is grow over time. So the more you have your eyes on and the more you're paying attention, the more you can actually like understand the person as they are without putting that filter on them of like, potential or this or that. The first sign of people revealing themselves naturally is by their lack of consistency or their inconsistency. So sometimes they will say one thing, but then they'll do another. They'll say this, but then they'll show you that. And that's really important to listen to because, again, like the actions are actually going to tell you about who a person is versus the thing that they're talking about. The second part is that they will disrespect and dismiss you, but it will almost come off in like a joking manner, like don't take it so seriously, and that's kind of like this first tactic of like someone showing you who they are, but they're layering it and putting the joke filter on it for you to be able to kind of like be like, oh, okay, maybe not, And the third one is a lack of follow-throughs. This one is super obvious. So if you're asking your partner or somebody to do something and it doesn't happen, that's one thing. They say they're going to do something, it doesn't happen. They're not following through. They don't really care, but they don't know how to tell you that. I want to also kind of like interrupt for a second to also say this one thing. We are souls on a spiritual journey, okay? And because we're on a spiritual journey, we are going to go through different experiences, different people, all of these things in life that are going to ultimately help us come back to ourselves in a way, help us come back to our truth. So all of this that I'm talking about is basically based on my prior experience of things that I wish I knew, that I would have followed along the way, but I had to go through those experiences. So now I'm sharing those experiences. People reveal themselves to you all the time, through different situations, through different behaviors, all these different things, and only you're going to be able to see them. But again, like pay attention to that subtleness. Pay attention to the things that you're paying attention to, but you're dismissing or avoiding because there's another reason that you can put on top of that, another filter of a joke, of potential, of this or that. Now, let's delve a little bit into why we dismiss these signs, because that's also really important. The first one that we dismiss them is because we are afraid of being wrong, okay? We dismiss our own feelings. We look at their potential because we're like, oh, we don't really know this person. So if we don't really know this person, like, how can we think that we're right just because we have this feeling or because we're like going off this one like inkling, but we don't actually know, right? That's an example of your intuition speaking up and being like, hey, like something weird here, like maybe ask some questions, maybe follow up, maybe, like pay attention a little bit to this. If you grew up in a household where you feared being wrong, which is our next thing anyway, of childhood conditioning, that is also a really big part of why you may just dismiss other people too. Now, childhood conditioning is also about just growing up in environments where you have to rationalize or excuse harmful behavior for the sake of other people, okay? Saying that, oh, it was actually my fault, or they were just kidding, or, they didn't mean it, or all these different things. Like, again, that is a form of you dismissing what is actually right there in front of you. And last but not least, we are again looking at their potential. We are hoping for the best. We're giving them the benefit of the doubt. But we have to understand that the recipe of their actions is the consequence of your cleanup. Again, we are all on our journey, and the things that you go through are all learning experiences if you're willing to see them that way. But that is a really big thing. Let me say one more time. The recipe of their actions is the consequences of your cleanup. So the longer you stay, the more you're in it, the harder it is going to be to clean that up. Not impossible, but just hard. And again, like, you gain all these different tools too that help you in the long run anyway. But this is all just, again, like, how can we avoid this? Now, dismissing someone's behavior, all that really does is actually amplify our own self-doubt. So the more we dismiss other people, the more we're dismissing the feelings within us and we're dismissing other people, the more self-doubt grows and grows and grows in us, to the point where we have no idea what we're believing, what we're seeing, what we're working for, because we literally just like have dismissed the entire experience altogether and come up with excuses or whatever it might be. So now we're stuck in this state of being like, all right, well, I have no clue. I have no idea. So maybe it's fine. I have literally been in this situation before where I'm literally dismissing somebody's actions because I so want to see them live out their potential that all I do is waste my own time and waste my years and all these different things, because I'm not seeing this person as they are. I'm seeing them as I want them to be, and that is not reality, ladies and gents. That did not work, okay? So the sooner you can recognize these, the better off you are. The more you're able to say something and to actually like tangibly work through the experience, and if it's not serving you anymore, Now let's talk about the cost of these red flags. Okay, the first one is emotional exhausted. Constantly excusing and justifying someone's behavior is so tiring. Okay, it is exhausting. 2, when you're constantly doubting your own instincts and your own intuition, you're basically just eroding your own self-trust. Like, you're basically like, yeah. And last but not least, it's lost time. You're wasting years with people who aren't growing, who aren't moving in their decisions, who aren't serving you anymore, but you're there. I will say, in the prior experience, in the prior relationship I was in, giving all that benefit of the doubt, seeing somebody's potential and all these different things literally eroded like the trust I had within myself. It literally eroded like my own magic inside, because I was so focused on putting all these filters on them to make things work. Whereas like when you take away all those filters, like that's what's real, that's what's left. And unless you're able to have those lenses on and to really see the situation for what it is, it's only going to continue taking the toll that it's taking upon you. So the sooner you see this, the more honest you are with yourself, the sooner you can basically start building trust within yourself, start taking actions that are serving you, and start really deciding like what is for me, what isn't for me, based on the reality that's in front of you, not the filters that you're putting on things. In addition to trusting your gut, you also want to have your boundaries, and you want to have your boundaries early on, because what boundaries are a form of self-respect. Boundaries are a form of mutual respect. Okay, when you have your boundaries out in the beginning of everything, it sets your partner up, it sets the person up for being for like understanding you, for having the blueprint of like what works, what doesn't work. Okay, so the more you're showing up for yourself, the more you're actually paying attention to see if somebody else is also showing up. Last but not least, you need to affirm your worth. You need to know how worthy you are. You need to know your worth times a million more before you put yourself in situations, or when you're in situations that you are mirrored something you don't like back. You're mirrored your lack of worth to you. If someone is showing you that they don't respect you, that they don't find you worthy through their jokes, through their actions, through whatever it might be, believe them, because that can save you a lifetime, years upon years of wasted life, okay, a wasted potential of your own potential. Okay, their potential doesn't matter. Their potential is their problem. Your potential is your problem. Okay, trust yourself enough to believe what you observe. The sooner you do, the sooner you move towards peace and relationships that truly align with your worth. Stay tuned for episode 3.